Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of April 28th, 2021. Let's get right into it. First up, we have Action Comics number 1030. Philip Johnson, or K. Johnson, is doing a fantastic job with Action. His stuff from Future State was really cool, so I can't wait. And what he's doing with Action is amazing, so I can't wait to see what he has in store with Superman and Warworld. Next up, we have Batman Black and White, number 5. Right? Yeah, number 5. Hey. I've been enjoying the Black and White book. It's really just short kind of stories about Batman. No color in them, just black and white with the art, and it's been really, really good. I highly recommend you checking them out. If you are missing out on a few of the early ones, then definitely wait to pick up a collection of them, but they are good stuff to read. Next up, we have Batman Superman number 17. This one was a little interesting in how they did the story. There was 2 stories running through this in issue 16, and one was for Superman on the top in like a movie reel or film, and then on the bottom was Batman in a film thing, and they came together at the end. So I'm curious to see how that story ends up, fleshing out in this issue, if it's going to continue with the split stories or if it's going to stay continued and then go forward. So yeah, we'll see. Next up is BRZRKR number 2, Keanu Reeves and Mike Kind book. The first one was really cool. I liked it. People freaked out and like, oh, they're going to make a movie of it. And of course they were going to make a movie of it. It's Keanu Reeves. Like, this was ordered in droves in number 1. So you're not going to get what you think you're going to get for if you try to spec this book. It's a good book. You should just read it. I've been enjoying it, so I can't wait to see what happens in this issue and going forward. Next up, we have Donnie Cates' crossover number 6. This book is really good. I'm really curious to see where the story goes, but it's nice to see kind of just this use of all types of comic book characters and themes and all that, and he just throws it all in and gives us this story that's unfolding that seems really, really interesting. I hope Donnie Cates can, flesh it out and make it just pop. But I have been enjoying crossover, and you should check it out yourself. Next up, we have Department of Truth number 8. It's apparently been picked up as, I don't know, TV show, movie, something. So people are probably going to start going nuts for it. I don't know how much longer James Tynion IV is going to be working in comics, if he keeps going and making things that Hollywood wants to produce, and they'll eventually just steal him away if they just want their own material. But if you're not reading Department of Truth, you should really check it out. Volume 1 is out in trade, and it's definitely something that I would recommend you take a look at. The art's not necessarily something that's up my alley, but I think that it's one of those books where the storytelling does an amazing job of just carrying you through it's not just your dislike, but it's carrying you through what the art is presenting. So let's say the art is bad. It's just, it's a little rough for my taste, but it's really well done. Overall, a good book. I'm not trying to nitpick anything specifically. It's not like John Romita Jr. on Bendis's Action Comics, which just took away from the Bendis story and just turned it into garbage. Much like John Romita Jr. on Jeff Johns' stuff on Action back in the New 52 era. Yeah, there you see a pattern there. So anyway, next up we have Detective Comics number 1035. We're continuing the stuff with, who is this again? I don't know who this is, but yeah, Detective's doing some random story with Batman and all that stuff. It's fun stuff. Next up is Harley Quinn number 2. I enjoyed the first issue. Can't wait to see what's going on in the second issue. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Russomo's art, but Phillips has told an intriguing first issue, so I'm going to keep going with it. Of course I'm going to keep going. It's Harley. What are you talking about? Next up is a new number 1 from Image, and that's Helm Greycastle. This is actually a 1 of 6. I'm just going to check it out, see what it's all about. Yeah, we'll see if it continues to be on my pull list. Next up is the final issue of a series, finally, and that is issue 48 of Outcast, Robert Kirkman's book that started God knows how long ago. is finally finishing up. And talk about a slow burn book. I've enjoyed it. It's been good. I don't think it's something I would necessarily recommend right off the gate for people. It's very, very specific to who would like the story. I still haven't watched the TV show. Don't know if that finished up properly or not, but we'll see. But I like Outcast, so I can't wait to finish it up. Next one, we have Joshua Williamson moving over to Robin at #1. So if you wanted, if you like Damian, pick this up. If you like Joshua Williamson, pick it up. If you just are curious, pick it up. I'm curious to see what Williamson has in store for Damian, because Damian's character, I think there's a lot there, and I have enjoyed some versions of Damian. Excuse me. There's the first shot or second, the one. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Robin #1. Check it out. Next up is a book that was shorted, or we got damaged copies, and so it had to be restocked. And so that's Savage #3. I pick up most of the Valiant books. Savage is okay. It's nothing I'd say you have to read. But yeah, I like the Valiant universe, and so I keep just diving in with those books. Next up is new #1, and this is written by Cullen Bunn, and that's for Shadow Man #1 from Valiant. So I'm curious to see what they do with this Shadow Man. The last one they did, I enjoyed, and then it had a really, really rocky part that Shadow Man went away. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this Shadow Man. Next up is one written by Justin Jordan. This is actually a prequel to a mobile game, which I didn't know which I didn't know until I looked it up a little while ago. And that's Summoner's War Legacy. So I'm curious to see what this is all about. It's a prequel, so hopefully it stands on its own, and I don't necessarily need to know stuff from the mobile game of Summoner's War. We'll see. Maybe if I can, I'll look into see if it's a game that you need to pay for or if it's free. But I'll probably, if I enjoy the story enough, I might check out the game. And last up, we have Teen Titans Academy #2. The first issue was okay. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. I don't know. Teen Titans has always been one of those books that I'm not a huge fan of. I know a lot of people love the Teen Titans. I've never been a huge fan of the team itself and the dynamic of the team. I don't know why. I've tried to get into the Teen Titans or the Titans, but nothing really ever clicked for me. And this book is, I don't know yet, so we'll see. I did pick up some variants this week. First one is for Batman Black and White #5. Snagged that one where he's sitting on a gargoyle. There's of course a awesome Gary Frank one for Batman and Black and White #5 with Batman lingering over the Riddler there. One of the Department of Truth variants I thought was pretty cool, so I snagged that one up for issue 8. Harley Quinn had a variant, so I had to snag that. It's Harley Quinn. This week a second print came out for a book. I think the cover's pretty cool, so I snagged it. I snagged that one up. And that's Nightwing #78, the second print. So if you didn't get a chance to check out Nightwing by Tom Taylor, you really should. It was an amazing, amazing issue. I need to dive into issue 79 for last week, but I'll get there. There was a variant for Robin #1, so I picked that one up as well. And then of course we had a Robin #1 1 in 25 variant that I thought was awesome, so I picked that one up there. And then I believe this is the 8th printing of this book, but I thought the cover was pretty cool. And that is Something is Killing the Children #1, or Sikt. Is that how you pronounce SIKTC? Yeah, Something is Killing the Children #1. This is the 8th printing. So, yeah. That's it for my pull list. I did pick up a graphic novel this week. And that's another installment of an OGN by Ed Brubaker with Sean Phillips doing art. And it's a Reckless book, which is the one that came out prior, which I actually have sitting right here that I need to read, which I haven't. But this is Friend of the Devil. Cannot wait to jump in, see what this is all about. I actually need to read the first one, but yeah. And it did come with a book plate, signed book plate by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So yeah, so I need to get to it and check that out. But that's out this week. I did pick up a novel this week, and that is the Star Wars Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good. I have not yet dove into this current Thrawn trilogy, but I really love the original. Timothy Zahn does a fantastic job writing. The funny thing is, this we got through Diamond, and this book is in pristine condition. Whereas if I tried to find this from the bookstore or ordered it from Amazon, everybody knows how books come from Amazon. It's your good luck. You're most likely going to hit that refund button right after it says your item was delivered, because you'll open it and it looks like garbage. But Diamond has, like, this book came immaculate. So I am pretty much only going to be ordering my Star Wars books from Diamond now on, because book publishers just throw them books in boxes and don't care. I'm really curious to see how that pans out with Marvel going over to Penguin Random House for comic book single issue distribution, but we'll see. And there's also the last week of the month, which means it's previews time. And so it's the May 21st previews, number 392. This is for stuff on sale in July of 2021. We got some new stuff there from stuff from Boom. Curious to see what Black or Dark Blood is. And then on the flip side, there's some He-Man Masters of the Universe stuff coming from Dark Horse. Don't know what that's all about. I think Warner Bros. Must have lost the license. I don't know. But I am super stoked for the Spine ad, and that's another Horizon Zero Dawn comic. Yes. There's a bunch of variants, so I'll probably be picking up as many as I can. And then there's, of course, the Marvel previews, which is a separate magazine. So I picked that up as well. That's how you pre-order stuff. That's what you need to use to pre-order. Pre-ordering is very important. I'm going to go off on a tangent for a little bit before I end this video. So this past week, specifically last week, a book came out called Batman Fortnite 0.1. This was basically solicited by DC few months in advance, about 3 months in advance. I want to say we knew about this probably in, let's say, February, maybe March, or maybe into January. So 2 months, give or take. But we had to order this book 6 weeks ago. Stores had to put in their orders for this book 6 weeks ago. Now, we've talked about this at length on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. I think that was episode 497, where we talked about the Batman Fortnite stuff. But I really want to just add a little bit more to that. So the difficult part about this is, people are going crazy trying to get this. I mean, I worked last week, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Most of the calls were, do you have Batman Fortnite number 1? Do you have Batman the 0. Do you have Batman? And every time I said, no, we don't. But you can get a third print copy that will have the code. That won't be out until the first week of June, when issue 4 of the series comes out. But we can sign you up for the entire thing, 2 through 6, and getting a third print of issue 1. Most people online or on the phone did not. They said, "Okay, thanks," and hung up. I did have a couple people that signed up for it because they were like, "Oh, well, yeah, okay, we'll just do that. That makes it a whole lot simpler." So, getting back to the ordering of this book, comic book stores and video games are a weird thing. Most people would think that comic book stores and people who read comics and people who play video games the crossover is huge, and they would want comic books of the video games and video games made of the comics, and that's true to a point. The Injustice comics from DC do really well with the Injustice universe from the video game. The Batman Arkham Asylum comics were very well done that went along with the Batman Arkham games that came out. There's been plenty of comic book stories written about other video games like Horizon Zero Dawn. I just said earlier I'm excited for the next comic book that's coming out. But the actual people that order the comics for video games aren't very high. So comic book retailers don't normally order video game comics in high numbers. The reason why is they don't sell necessarily. They may have a great creative team. If they're running around the same time as the game, it may increase a little, but not much. DC told retailers about this, said they're, they're joining up with Epic and Fortnite and going to be having a code, and you'll have a code in each of the 6 issues, and then if you claim all 6 of them, you get this special skin in game, which is really great. I think it's really good concept. It gets people to pick up the comics and potentially read the comics. I believe the story is supposed to add to the 0 Point story that's going on this season. But what happened was Epic really, really dropped the ball and kind of screwed the pooch, so to speak, with this book's release. Now, comic book stores, the retailer forums were saying, oh, what? No, it's just garbage. I didn't order very many, blah, 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 blah. Even Ryan Higgins, the owner of Comics Conspiracy, where I work, he had 1,000 on the order page, and he cut a 0. Because even though all of the flags were met that for him to order big, it had returnability. It was crossing over with a game that was huge. It had in-game codes. It had Batman. Like, there was a ton of stuff there. And yeah, if he would have just hit, I want 1,000, that's great. Well, he ordered what he ordered, and then things happened the Friday before the book was released. Epic finally dropped information to its player base about this comic and about this code and about how to get this comic and code. There's 2 ways to get it. You can get it either through buying the single issues 1 through 6, or you can subscribe to DC Infinite, which is DC's like unlimited, Marvel Unlimited thing, where you can just read whatever comic books, however many comics you want, for a monthly fee, all that stuff. So, but you had to do it for 4 months, and you had to do it for paid. You couldn't do it for the first 7-day trial period. So there was even articles that were helping people get around the 7-day trial to be able to actually start paying and get the codes. So there's kind of a huge mess here, and with how things rolled out, how Epic rolled it out with not really advertised. I understand like teasing something and getting some buzz around it, but not really saying anything until like 3 days before the thing drops, and what's out there is out there. So this led to it being sold out. I pre-ordered this myself. I got a copy for myself, which is still polybagged. I got a variant. I got the exclusive, like the premium variant or whatever, because I like Batman. There's a Harley skin in it. Cool. Okay. I don't play Fortnite. I don't have a Fortnite account. I don't think I do. I have an Epic account because I had to make one for my son to have one, so I can monitor it. But I got one for my son so he could put the content in game. I also got it for 4 of his friends, who he knows from school. 2 of them have moved away, but we still send comic books to them every so often because they, that's what I've been doing for a while. And then the other 2 live local. And so I went and actually dropped those off with one of the parents, told them, don't worry, all that stuff. The mom contacted me the next day and she said, oh my God, thank you. The kids love it. They're excited. They've read it. She's like, how much do I owe you? I'm like, don't worry about it. And then she messages me, holy crap, this is like $50. Let me send you the money now. And I'm like, no, you don't need to send me the money. This is how crazy it's gotten. I think the people that really wanted this didn't get it. I think scalpers moved in, much like with PlayStations and all that, and just scooped up as much as they can to exploit literally selling the code. My son opened it. We put the code in. The book is now virtually worthless. It's the code that people are paying for. They're paying way too much for this code. The code will be out in the second print, which is allocated. Don't ask me why. That's a whole nother story, but I'll get on that later. Or not in this video. The third print is what we're looking at, and that is what we have to finalize orders for fairly soon. I believe it's the beginning of next week. It's going to be on an FOC soon, or last call for order. And so you'll need to let your shop know that you want a third print copy. Now, some stores, I think, did get small quantities, or are potentially getting small quantities of restock from DC, but I don't doubt that. I doubt there was very, very much. And yeah, even then, if stores are going to get it, you're still going to have that. Some stores, I mean, it's still going to be upmarked. It's been a week, you know. Stores, they're just going to up it. So yeah, wait for the third print. You don't need to redeem these in order. If your kids like Fortnite and you missed out on this, just sign up. Sign up for the subscription 2 through 6. You need to sign up pretty soon for 2. Or at least you'll potentially be able to get a second print of 2. But sign it up. Sign up at your local shop. If you want, we can sign you up at Comics Conspiracy, and we can ship it to you. I will be the one shipping it to you. You don't necessarily need to get one comic a week, but we will hold it. You'll pay for it, and then it'll be shipped out to you. You can also do this through any other store that does online shopping, and makes it easy for you. So yeah. So go out there, and if your kid wants it, get them a subscription to it through your local comic shop. You don't need to do anything else afterwards. You can just say, I would just want this and I'm done. Or you can leave it there, and if they decide they like comics and they want to read some more, then hey, that's great. You get a subscription, they go down there, it's a bonding experience, and it's amazing. With all that said, Batman Fortnite was a fiasco number 1 was a fiasco that I don't know if anybody really understood how big it was going to be, and well, nobody really knew. They wanted it to be big, but the numbers weren't there. And I think that if DC really, really felt it was something that could have been really good, then I don't know why they didn't just at least double their printing and just send these copies to stores just to get people to go and them to have these to sell. Who knows? But yeah, you don't need to worry about it. I will also say this. If you're a fan of Jim Lee, he is doing a variant for issue 3. It is a variant with Batman and fighting Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Get your orders in for that. That is a variant. It's not the main cover. You have to order that separately. So make sure you get your copy. I'm getting an extra copy for my roommate. He loves Snake Eyes and he likes Jim Lee, so I'm getting him a copy. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you want, leave a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're picking up. If you had a Batman Fortnite experience that was good, let me know. If you had a Batman Fortnite experience that was bad, let me know. If you're still confused about Batman Fortnite 0 Point, let me know. And I'll see if I can answer any of those questions. You can listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 498. We talked Falcon Winter Soldier finale, which, spoiler, I didn't necessarily like Winter Soldier that much. I think the show was too short. It needed to be longer, or they needed to trim it down a lot. And I think some of the character development wasn't there, especially for like the Flag Smashers. Stuff going on with Sharon Carter, that's a whole bag of worms that, yeah. Check out the podcast. We talk about it at length there. There'll be a link in the description below for you to check it out. You can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees and getting product. So thank you very much to all of our backers. It helps out immensely. You can also help me out a little more directly by visiting any of the Amazon links here at conspiratorbrock.com, purchasing something after you go through that link, and I get a little cut, so I get some Amazon money. Thank you. Or you can head over to my eBay page, where I've been offloading old video game boxes from NES and Super Nintendo and Game Boy that I had when I was a kid, and I was a nerd and I kept them nice, and so I've been just getting rid of them, and they've been going for a fair amount of money, and it's kind of scary, but hey, it paid off, I guess, in the end. I don't know where the games are. My two brothers somehow took this Nintendo system and the NES systems, and then the games disappeared, and we don't know where they are, which is a bummer because I really wish I could have kept my copy of Final Fantasy 1 and American 2 and 3. I have the box for 1 and the box for 3, which I'm keeping. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe one day I will go down the rabbit hole of purchasing video games. But I really wish they would just re-release it on PlayStation so I can buy it and, like a dumbass, play an 8-bit game on a big widescreen. Hey, I liked replaying Final Fantasy VII, and I finally beat it. And I realized that I don't know as much as I thought I did as a kid. And the internet, it makes it amazing. I am going to be playing Final Fantasy VIII. I already brought out the old strategy guide, and I cannot wait to dive in when I finally do. But yeah, anyway. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. Or sorry, no, that one's not correct. It's BES Basement. That's my new Twitter handle. I still, 198 days later, no real response from Twitter support. No human being, I think, has looked at my appeals. So we'll see if BrockSager at BrockSager on Twitter just dies in the oblivion of suspension that, is the loop of algorithms, or if by some miracle it gets, brought back from the dead. Who knows? That's it for this week. I will see you next week.